time for one more person to weigh in their opinion. Yes, Dr. Harles, go ahead.
I think he will escape because he's a survivor.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like and he can just like just continue like this is to like survive.
Okay, we'll take that. Charles, go ahead. You can have that second last word.
I think he is going to escape. You know why? Because I think he is going to escape.
Good.
Because he's escaped from getting hungry.
Right.
So I think he's going to go the rest of the way.
Good. Right. So, what kind of story would it be, in Charles' opinion, if he evades all this stuff and then suddenly he meets his end anyway? Well, it seems like most of us have a happy ending in store, with the exception of Laquana. It's okay. Hold on to that. We're going to see who's got the right prediction as we finish up today. As I stated, we are on 6:13. Before we dive back into the text, we need to remind ourselves what's happened in each part. Part 1. What happened in part 1? Please raise your hand. What happened in part 1? Go ahead, Lane. No. All right. Stay with us. Take off the vest and sweatshirt. It looks nice. You can't have it on in this class. Nope. What was that? I'm giving you an opportunity, right? We can't lose participation. Still can happen. Okay, cool. What happened in part 1? What happened in part 1? Yeah, go ahead, Charles. Oh, stretch. Laquana's got you. Don't worry. He's about to get hung. He's standing there. Who's around him, Laquana? Yeah, other people in the army, right? They have him tied up. He's standing on the plank. Things don't look good. It ends with him stepping off the plank. Down he goes, but then part 2. Does part 2 take place before or after the events of part 1? Please raise your hand, Trevor. Before. Excellent. Part 2 happens before part 1. So then part 2 is almost like a prequel. And what's happening in that prequel? Do you remember, Trevor?
It's like explaining what's going on before.
Good. Who is he? James, help him out. He's like a Confederate, not even a spy, he's really just a citizen, but he does want to do some...
he wants to stop the railroad or something.
Excellent. Who's building the railroad? Which side? The Union. Excellent. And so we put 2 and 2 together, we use our inferencing skills, and we know that he then must be arrested for what?
Terrorism.
Stop raising your hand. Terrorism, some sort of sabotage, right? He obviously gets caught. He's obviously in a dire position, and he obviously is in trouble. But then, beginning of part 3, someone walk us through the events of part 3 so far. Go ahead, Noriel.
He managed to escape he got wrapped around his neck and his hands.
Well, wait a second. So is he in the air? What happened? He's in, how did he get the wall?
Because when he fell, he didn't die. Because the rope broke.
Thank you. Excellent. The rope breaks. It's in the water. Go ahead.
Then he struggles. He's breathing, he can't breathe. The rope's over. Tied around his neck. The water runs and going to his lungs.
That's all I was giving you a walk through and a half. Go ahead.
Sir, I don't need your
Go ahead and finish your thought.
No, then he manages to pry his hands free.
Yes.
And then he goes to the top. And then he gets the top.
Yep.
And he was go back.
There you go.
And then he swims down the river while he's getting shot.
Yeah. And is he, so what happened to
He
that?
got shot in the neck, but like when the bullet hit the water, like it slows down a lot.
Excellent.
Kill him.
Excellent.
Kind of just
Good. So Noriel basically got all the details we want to see here, except for maybe one. The imagery. Where does the imagery come into play with this? Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Like when he's like describing everything that surrounds him, like the trees and everything like that.
Yes, right? He comes out of this near-death situation. As Noriel said, he comes up to the air, goes, takes a deep breath. It's probably one of the best breaths he's ever had. And then he starts to be in this hypersensitive state. And we get to see all the imagery. One of them is he sees every single tree on the shoreline. Not just every tree, but what else? More specifically, the lines on what, Noriel? On the leaves. Right? He sees the lines, the veins on the leaves. What else? What's another example of imagery? Remember, it's an appeal to
The birds.
the 5 seconds of birds chirping. I don't remember that.
Yeah. Ross really got it, man.
Give us a line, Chris. While you're getting the line, Chris.
Yes, repeat the question again.
What other imagery? So you can out the trees, right? Sight. There's other stuff there.
We talking about here, like seeing the bugs fly past.
Good, excellent. Seeing the bugs. We've got sight. Before we move on, let's get one more that doesn't have to do with sight. There's a couple other things there. Yes, Aquana. Good. Felt the ripples of the water against his face. So this is like almost a spiritual experience for him. And then as he's escaping, yes, James?
Did y'all say you heard the music yet?
Ah, it's the final one. I'm so glad you
That's the
brought
one I
that.
was talking about, the music.
Oh, with birds. It's not with birds. Let's go to that part that James is on. 6:13. As he gets to the shore, right, he's escaping the bullets and eventual cannon fire, and he's at the shore. Line 239. A strange roseate light shone through the spaces among their trunks. Talking about the trees, obviously. We're all following along, right, James and Justin? And the wind made in their branches the music of Elean harps. And we said that Elean harps was like what sound? It was a closing point yesterday. You don't remember? No. Closer to the back. Yes? The Elean harps. What does that mean? Wink, wink. It's a footnote in the book. Elean harps, right? The wind makes an Elean harp sound to him as he's finally reached the shore. He's been chased after, and then we said that that's closest to being a what? Charles? You got James? No? Go ahead, Chris. We'll finish this. Heavenly sound, right? Oh! Reaches the shore, away from danger, bam! That heavenly sound of the wind, and that's where we're going to pick up. And that's where we're going to pick up. We're going to pick up right after that, actually. Line 240, he had no wish. I'll start off reading, then we'll have volunteers reading the next paragraph starting on 614. Follow along on he had no wish. He had no wish to perfect his escape, was content to remain in that enchanting spot until retaken. A whiz and rattle of grape shot among the branches high above his head roused him from his dreams. Remember what grape shot was? It was like a change to the cannon.
Yeah, it was on that little multiple bullets.
Good, excellent. Like multiple cannon fire in the cannon. So that's now kind of whizzing about him. The baffled cannoneer had fired him a random farewell. He sprang to his feet, rushed up the sloping bank, and plunged into the forest. All that day he traveled, laying his course by the rounding sun. The forest seemed interminable. Nowhere did he discover a break in it, not even a woodman's road. He had not known that he lived in so wild a region. There was something uncanny in the revelation. And uncanny means unsettling. So take that to heart as we turn the page. Something unsettling in the revelation. 614, this is the final page. It's a hugely important last part of the reading. Volunteer to read. Volunteer to read the paragraph. Go ahead, Charles. We're all following along. Line 249. If I see your eyes, it means you're not reading. These multiple choice questions demand you to read. Go ahead.
My name was the whatsoever damaging the thought of his wife and children urged him on. At last he found a road which led him in what he knew to be the right direction. It was as wide and straight as a city street, yet it seemed untraveled. No field bordered it, no dwelling anywhere, not so much as the barking of a dog suggested human habitation. The black bodies of the trees formed a straight wall on both sides, terminating on the horizon in their point. Like the diagram in the lesson perspective. Overhead, as you looked out through this rift in the wood, shone great golden stars looking unfamiliar and grouped in strange constellations. He was sure they were arranged in some order which had a secret and
Line. And with evil significance.
what significance? The wood on either side was full of singular noises, among which ones, twice and again, he distinctly heard whispers in an unknown tongue.
So again now, there seems to be a little more imagery, but it's It's not as bright as it once was. Give us an example from imagery from this section. There's a big one right towards the end as a hint. Chris, you're an imagery master. You're not going to take a pause. Someone else carry the team. So there's definitely a little bit more imagery there, right? But it's not as joyous as it once was. That might be telling us something in the text. Raise your hand, please. Go ahead, Horace.
Is it the one where, like, you talk about the whispers?
Good. The very last line. Excellent. He distinctly heard whispers in an unknown tongue. So now it's kind of not exactly light out anymore. It's dark, and now he's hearing whispers through the trees. So what used to be a very glorified, beautiful experience, right? I'm seeing the webs of bugs along the creek side, beautiful veins on a leaf, has now turned to darkness, and there's whispers about in the trees. If this were a movie, it might have changed into what type? Mysterious, maybe even horror. Let's continue on. Next paragraph, new volunteer to read 261. James, go ahead. 261.
His neck was in pain, and lifting his hand to where he found it horribly cold. He knew that it had a circle of black where the robe had bruised it. His eyes felt congested. He could no longer close it. His tongue was swollen with thirst. He relieved his fever by thrusting it forward from between his teeth into the cold air. How softly the turf had carpeted the untraveled heaven. He could no longer feel the roadway beneath his feet.
Wow. So you're starting to kind of almost, things are getting good for him. What do you think is happening here? What do you think is happening here? Please raise your hand. Perhaps somebody new that we haven't heard from yet. Yeah, go ahead, Lou. What do you think is happening here? His body's giving up on him, maybe. What evidence do you have from the text? Yeah, he's panting like a dog. Excellent. He's kind of, if you've ever run a long time, sometimes it's like, whoa. Doesn't even feel like I'm even walking anymore. My muscles are starting to give out, right? And if you go to the very top of the page, read that line again to yourself. By nightfall, right? So you go, you put two and two together, and Lou's absolutely correct. Looks like if you haven't eaten, and he's obviously had gone through quite an ordeal, body-wise.
Oh, never mind, my bad.
You good?
I finished the story. I'm sorry.
We got to make sure that he's still, is he still even able to keep going? Right? I guarantee you they didn't feed him well when he was in prison. Let's finish this story together. We're at doubtless. I'll read, you follow along. Doubtless, despite his suffering, he had fallen asleep while walking. For now he sees another scene. Perhaps he has merely recovered from a delirium. A delirium meaning, what's your best guess the delirium could mean, Chris?
Like he just like seeing things.
Like a vision. Yeah, he's almost starting to lose it, right? If you're really tired, you don't see mirages.
Like delusional. That's what I
Yes,
was thinking.
delusional. Excellent.
I thought like delusional.
Excellent. Excellent way to break down the word. He stands at the gate of his own home. All is as he left it. So he's already at his home. And all bright and beautiful in the morning sunshine. He must have traveled the entire night. As he pushes open the gate and passes up the wide, white walk. Another alliteration. It's right there. The repetition. He sees a flutter of female garments. His wife, looking fresh and cool and sweet, steps down from the veranda to meet him. At the bottom of the steps, she stands waiting with a smile of ineffable joy, ultimate joy. an attitude of matchless, grace and dignity. Ah, how beautiful she is. He springs forward with extended arms. As he is about to clasp her, he feels a stunning blow upon the back of the neck. A blinding white light blazes all about him with a sound like the shock of a cannon. Then all is darkness and silence. Peyton Farquhar was dead. His body, with a broken neck, swung gently from side to side beneath the timbers of the Owl Creek Bridge. Ooh. I see Charles' reaction. I see some reaction already. Let's break this thing down. Trevor, you start us off with the breakdown, and Chris is going to break down. What happened here?
So like all the things he's seen when he's walking through the forest and all that, and then at the end of service, like he's hanging for basically he was dreaming of like if this could happen, but it didn't happen.
Good. So what did happen?
Yeah, he got hung and died.
He hung. He was hung and died. Chris? Watch your language.
I ain't even know that.
Hold on, guys. We heard a point. It was excellent. Now Chris is going to get a point. We need to have respect.
I was saying, it goes back to the delusion stuff like that. That we just discussing.
You just discussed it.
Like, it was just an illusion the whole time. You know? He thought, oh yeah, I'm about to escape, get out of here, and end up getting hung. Like he thought he was going.
Right. So the whole thing was kind of like, ugh. Whoa. The whole thing about the water, the cannon shots, getting to the side of the bank, all that imagery. Part 3 is essentially comes and goes. Think to yourself, are you surprised? Why or why not? Is your laptop over here? I don't see it. You're welcome. Are you surprised? Be honest.
Yes.
Yes, I get a lot of yeses. What's surprising about this? How are we surprised by this? How do we not see this coming?
It sounded so real.
Huh?
It sounded too real, that's the way he wrote it.
Yeah, the detail, right? The detail of it in itself kind of gives it realism.
You got it.
Anybody else? Could we have seen this coming? Did anyone even have a hint of this? No one has spoken. No one spoke of it in the middle of class. We had Laquana, who was close, right? What did you say for the do now, Laquana? That he wasn't going to get away. Well, very close. He ultimately, obviously, never even got a chance to get away. Good. Turn back in your book. We're going to reread a couple sections. Turn back to page 607. Turn back to page 607. At 607, Justin, can you please read as these thoughts all the way to the bottom, all the way to 2, so just those 3
Okay.
lines. As these thoughts, and then just stop at part 2.
I can't see it.
Thank you, James. Read them nice and loud. It's all going to fall on.
Oh, you're crazy. As these thoughts appear to be set down, words will flash into the doom man's brain, rather than evolve from its captain, guided to the sergeant, and the sergeant stepped aside.
Excellent, thank you. So, right there, in that moment, what's the significance of the sergeant stepping aside? Someone please raise their hand. Josh, just hold on. Chris can't carry the whole team. Thank you, Chris. James? When the sergeant steps aside, what does that mean?
People are supposed to shoot.
No, not the people are supposed to shoot. Go ahead, Charles. Good, right? He had been balanced on a plank to the point where when someone else is standing and keeping him up, so when the sergeant steps aside, where does he go? Down. And what catches him? No, not the water. The rope. And we said in the beginning that the point of a hanging is to do what? Please raise your hand. Yes, no. Break the neck. Break the neck. And so now, knowing what we know ultimately, at this point in time, what's happened to Peyton Farquhar? He's dead. at this point in time, at the end of part 1, we've now only read the beginning of the story chronologically, but we know ultimately from the ending that he's dead. Turn with us in the book to page 608 now. As was stated when we were going over things accurately by Trevor, part 2 is before part 1, so that's a prelude. You have a look. You get right here, let's have it out, right? Make sure you get the other hand. Well then, unclog it from this. Seriously. You're here, that's half of it. Get here and participate. So, now we're at part 3, which comes directly after part 2, allegedly. I mean, part 1.